Hi, my name's Doug Graham. I'm with the Burlington Lions Club, and we're joined here with Tommy Puffenberger. He has worked for the OSU Extension Office and has helped out with youth education in our community for a long time. I want to thank Trevor Hankey. He's coming in on his Christmas break, woke up early this morning. Really not early, but what he would consider early to help us out today. We have a project that we're working on at the Lions Club called the Wagon Project, and Tommy's organizing that and helping us with that. Tommy, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I was born and raised in Alfalfa County, and as you said a while ago, I work for the Cooperative Extension Service. My job is agricultural and 4-H education. So we do educational programming for agriculture producers, 4-H members. We also do school enrichment, so we go into the schools and provide ag in a classroom programs, and I work with the Sod House, and we do Western Heritage Days at the Sod House, so any type of educational program that we can provide to the public.
Can you tell me a little bit about the wagon?
So what we know about the wagon is it belonged to the Neff family.
Yeah, and Trevor, bring up that first slide of the Neff farm.
So it belonged to the Neff family, and the picture you see is the Charles W. Neff family, and there's a wagon in the background, and we would assume that's the same wagon that the Lions Club has possession of now, just for the fact that people didn't trade wagons like they trade cars today. So we can assume that's the same wagon. The wagon is a Weber wagon. Wagons back in those days were built mainly on the East Coast and shipped to the West. And once they got here, then they were assembled. But you could also order a wagon as to what you wanted it to do as far as how heavy of a load you wanted to take. So you could special order a wagon just like you special order a car today. So that's the history of that wagon goes back to the Neff family, and we assume that picture is somewhere after 1905, at least after that.
Okay. How could the wagon enhance sharing history with young people? And bring up the next slide of the store.
So as far as the history goes, and that's when we try to date this wagon, Burlington was originally called Drum, and it was changed to the town of Burlington and moved in 1907, in May of 1907. So there was a store called the Star Mercantile, and that's what you see in the photo there. And Star Mercantile was one of those mercantiles or trade stores that would buy these wagons, have them shipped out here. And at that time, it would already have the Weber logo on it, but those stores, mercantiles, would put their own logo on it. So this particular wagon says Star Mercantile, Burlington, Oklahoma on it. So we know it came from the mercantile in Burlington, and that's how we can kind of put an age on the wagon. So it has to be somewhere between 1907 and 1925. So the wagon's about 100 years old.
Wow.
So we can say that I don't know of anything else that's that old that came from the Burlington community that's still in existence.
Okay. What would be lost if we continue to let the wagon deteriorate?
Some people might just think it's a wagon, but it's not just a wagon. It's an heirloom, and it's such a piece of history because, as people came west, they came in wagons. It wasn't the station wagon. It wasn't the car. It didn't have air conditioning. It didn't have heat. There were a lot of trials and tribulations that are associated with the wagon. It was where they slept. It's where they ate. It carried all their worldly possessions in it. So to restore this wagon back to as perfect condition as we can get it would be like restoring Grandma's hope chest to someone else. It's near and dear to their heart. And even though there might not be a Neff family in Burlington at the present time, it's still part of Burlington's history. So if we let this wagon just rot and disappear and it winds up in a junk hole somewhere, we've lost a lot of history.
What can the wagon help tell young people about our community. And if you'd bring up the schoolhouse picture.
So, if the picture that you're looking at now is at Burlington School in 1910, and as we look at that picture, you can see in the background there are 2 wagons. So how did those kids get to school? And, you know, we always heard the story, I walked to school uphill both ways coming home and in the snow. But wagons was a major mode of transportation. There might have been automobiles on the East Coast way sooner than they were out in the West. So that wagon was transportation to school, from school, functions. Like I said, the picture's dated 1910. We don't know if that's the same wagon as the Neff family wagon, but it's period as the same type of wagon.
Okay. What are your future plans for the wagon?
As far as future plans for the wagon, the Lions Club, you know, sees the benefit of restoring history and preserving that history, and to just take it and put it back into a barn somewhere for nobody to see doesn't benefit anybody. So once the wagon's restored to where you can move it without worrying about damaging the wagon, because at the present state it's in, if you would pull it quite a bit or would haul it quite a bit on another trailer, it might shake apart, or you might damage a wheel. So by restoring it, preserving it, then you can move it around, and you could take it to schools, and once again you could let the kids look at it up close. A lot of kids have never seen a wagon up close. They might see one in a movie, but to let them see what could have brought their families west. And now, once it got here, just as Charles Neff did or Bob did, they used that wagon to haul product to town. They hauled their grain to town. They hauled their groceries back home. So getting the wagon out in the world, per se, taking it places, getting it to the sod house and letting people see it when they tour there, taking it to different schools across the county, just to have people have the awareness of what the wagon is, but also it brings back that Burlington history of the Star Mercantile and how it was used in those days.
We're in the process of raising, I think the amount was $8,000?
It's going to take somewhere close to $8,000, according to the Wagon Restoration Company, to bring this wagon back into the shape that it needs to be.
We've raised $3,000, but we're asking people to help us raise the rest of the money so that we can restore this wagon. If you'd like to contribute to this project, you can mail a check to the Burlington Lions Club in care of Alan Armbruster, 31146 CR 590, Cherokee, Oklahoma 73728. You can also donate online through our website, historysave.net. We sure thank you for joining us today. I want to thank Trevor Hankey for running video today, and I want to thank Tommy Puffenberger for coming in and sharing this story, this exciting story. So thank you, and you guys have a good day. Bye-bye.